Let's talk Fallout 76 because that is coming out this year, and you gave an amazing presentation. You're such a master. It's sort of
Thank you.
Encapsulating
I learned
all
from
this.
you.
All right, hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Fallout 76 news, and today we have an ex-OBSIDIAN developer sharing his thoughts on Fallout 76. So after a lot of controversy and a lot of negativity, we have this guy speaking up in regards to the Fallout 76 debacle and the game itself, and his opinion is obviously going to be very important as Obsidian is the studio behind Fallout New Vegas, my favorite Fallout game in the franchise. So the guy decided to share his thoughts through a Reddit post. As always, we have Reddit breaking news here, which is great. So he starts his post by saying that he's not really an MMO player and that he considers Fallout 76 to be an MMO. He enjoys mostly RPGs, but he feels like MMOs are very immersion breaking, like right from the get-go. And he's saying that he's basically a huge Fallout fan, and that when he heard about Fallout 76, he was cautious in his enthusiasm, which is fair. I think we all had our doubts, especially when we heard that the game was multiplayer only. If you guys remember, in 2015, Bethesda was so proud of saying that they made only single-player games. If you guys remember, there was an outrage at the time because of multiplayer games and the push towards online only. And in 2015, they said they were proud of bringing single-player games to the market, and then they flipped it and they created a freaking multiplayer-only game. So of course, we all had our doubts at the time, and I'm sure a lot of people would say that those doubts were justified, and there's certainly a case to be made about that. But his opinion is that Fallout 76 is actually a great game, which comes as a surprise for someone who worked for Obsidian, the creators of, in my opinion, the best Fallout game ever. So the fact that his opinion goes against the grain is what actually caught my eye here. He says fast forward 76 levels, because he's level 76 in Fallout 76, funny enough, and he is completely in love with this game despite its flaws, which it has. And he says it has many flaws, but according to him, he can see and feel the potential of the game. And he says he really hopes that dragging sales don't affect the long-term development process, because of course the game is not where the developers want it to be. Of course, they had a plan for post-release development, and he says that hopefully this negative wave doesn't affect that development process, and he is mentioning dragging sales as a potential risk there. However, we know from the UK retail sales that I talked about in my previous episode that even though the sales are dragging 82%, they are still top revenue makers in the context of UK retail sales. So we'll have to wait and see whether or not the development process is hindered by the reception of the game. And he says he knows firsthand how gutted a development team can feel about, you know, this reception. 3 to 4 years of your life dragged through poo-poo. And then when the money's in there, all the cool things you have planned for post-development start getting axed. It's very difficult for the team. So he obviously knows this firsthand. He's a developer. So in any case, he says that probably 3/4 of his time has been playing solo and 1/4 has been co-op with other people. And he points out how freaking amazing the online community for this game is. Everyone's very friendly and like a fantastic player base. And I quote, "There is a real sense of personal fulfillment to drop off supplies for new players or offer them hints, dropping some of the million duplicate plans I have, giving out power armor frames, handing out purified water, aluminium, and .38 ammo. It is a real treat and the dopamine hits are real." So he is really enjoying the game, and for me it's kind of like a breath of fresh air to see someone speak out about the good parts of the game. Obviously the game is not perfect, but I've never seen someone list all the things that they enjoy about the game in such a forthright manner, and it seems like it's honest. So this really is a hot take right here. Now, the game does suffer from a number of bugs. He says he can't play for 3 or 4 hours without a crash, which is a big problem. I haven't had any issues with that. However, he says he is enjoying the story, and I quote, "Bethesda are the masters of environmental storytelling, and in 76 they have to be, obviously because we don't have any NPCs. Also, these areas are some of the most fun to explore in any of their games." Finally, he says that he doesn't think he's gonna stop playing anytime soon, and then he goes ahead and lists a number of things that he would love to see changed or implemented into the game. And my god, this is the most comprehensive list of fixes that I've seen in the story of this game. My goodness, there's a lot of good ideas here. I'm just gonna list a number of things here that he says are important. For instance, the issue with the stash limit. He has a very creative solution to increase the size without making it available to everyone and changing that to a design decision, so not everyone gets access to the increased stash size by default. His idea is that we should be able to craft that, so craft a bigger type of stash, and that would increase the number of items that we can store while also keeping a limit to you know, the number of items that the game has to keep track of for lower level players. And I think that's a freaking amazing design decision that solves the technical issue. He also says that holotapes and notes should not be items that you can pick up, because then you have a bunch of holotapes that serve no purpose, just hindering the system, which is not good. Here's another idea. You should be able to create perk card decks or some other loadout system. When you get to higher levels, your focus changes. You're not getting any stronger, but you're increasing your options, and with those options comes a lot of card switching. The game doesn't mind you do this. It encourages it after you hit level 50, but changing those cards around is a chore, and it doesn't have to be. So that's a great idea right there. And he has a bunch of great ideas. I'm just gonna link the post in the description if you guys want to go and check out all his ideas. But anyway, that's gonna be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick little episode on Fallout 76 news. If you guys did, remember to leave a like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.